The scent of dry earth and jasmine clung to Maya's clothes as she worked. At 20, she carried the weight of Shantipura village on her slender shoulders. Her father, a simple farmer, had died a year ago, leaving behind a frail mother, a bright 10-year-old brother named Kiran, and a single, fertile half-acre plot of land, their only inheritance, their only hope. This hope was systematically being crushed by Headman Ramesh. Ramesh was a man whose power was measured not in wisdom, but in fear. He had recently fenced off their land, claiming a debt that never existed. When Maya confronted him, Ramesh's eyes held a vile, predatory gleam. He offered protection and reparations for her family, suggesting a price too high to pay. Maya went straight to the police post. Chief Patil, a bloated man with rings on every finger, listened to her with maddening indifference. Ramesh is a pillar of this village, child, Patil sneered, shuffling her complaint into a drawer. Perhaps you misunderstood. Go home. The truth was clear, the headman owned the chief. The entire local justice system was a cage. Maya retreated, but not in defeat. Her initial despair gave way to a chilling determination. She couldn't fight Ramesh with strength or money, but she could fight him with truth and persistence. Her first ally was not a hero, but a broken man, the retired schoolmaster, Mr. Ghori, who had been silenced by Ramesh years ago. Ghori taught her how to research official records and use the local town's internet cafe. More importantly, he showed her that Ramesh's forged land deed had one critical, verifiable flaw. It was signed by a defunct registrar. The deed was voidable, but the evidence was miles away in the district archives. Maya spent weeks documenting the harassment and Ramesh's illegal occupation. Her brother, Kiran, whose small hands still held the memory of their father's soil, became her secret weapon. He used his father's old, cracked screen phone to secretly record Ramesh's goons on the land. They had images, dates, and names, but no one local would testify. Frustrated by the slow pace of bureaucracy, Maya focused on Ramesh's arrogance. She and Mr. Ghori went back to the old land survey maps. They discovered that the headman wasn't just occupying their plot, he had secretly begun construction on a massive, illegal stone wall that encroached upon the protected village water reservoir. This was not a local land dispute, this was a state-level environmental crime. This was the chink in Ramesh's impenetrable armor. Maya didn't go back to Chief Patil. Instead, she took Ghori's formal report, Kiran's recordings, and her father's genuine land receipt, serialized and scanned, and uploaded them to the website of a powerful national organization dedicated to rural land rights. On the day of the annual village council meeting, Headman Ramesh stood before the gathered community, arrogantly boasting about his newly acquired property. The villagers listened in stunned silence, a heavy sense of injustice hanging in the air. Suddenly, the silence was broken by the sound of engines. A convoy of official, unfamiliar vehicles, bearing government plates, rolled into the village square. Out stepped a formal delegation, the state magistrate, 2 representatives from a national land rights NGO, and a team of investigative journalists. Ramesh's confident smirk dissolved, his face turning an ashen grey. On seeing the magistrate and his entourage, the villagers hastily set up a large table and 3 chairs under the shade of the banyan tree, creating an impromptu official dais. The magistrate and the 2 NGO officers took their seats, placing their documents on the table. The magistrate, ignoring Ramesh's stammered, futile threats, commanded the attention of the crowd. He opened a formal folder and began reading the charges. By the power vested in this court, Headman Ramesh is hereby charged with illegal construction, coercion, and the fraudulent land grab of property belonging to the late Bhagwati Prasad. The key evidence, compiled copies of the fraudulent deeds, lay squarely on the table before him. As the magistrate finished detailing the illegalities, Ramesh saw his entire edifice of power collapsing. With a desperate, feral cry, Ramesh lunged violently over the makeshift barrier, his aim not to harm the official, but to seize and rip the crucial documents from the table. The magistrate's presence was protected. 2 robust, uniformed court security guards were instantly on Ramesh. They intercepted his attack, grappling with him and subduing him in a swift takedown. Ramesh's shouts of outrage were muffled as he was pinned to the dusty ground. The ensuing chaos was the strategic moment Maya had been waiting for. She emerged from the back of the crowd, escorted by the NGO representatives, timing her appearance precisely with Ramesh's exposed aggression. She walked forward, strong and straight, raising a single, brittle, but undeniably official document for all to see, her father's original, fragile receipt, bearing the stamp and signature that proved the headman's documents were forgeries. The headman has already confessed to his guilt by trying to destroy the copies, Maya announced clearly, holding the proof aloft. Here is the truth he cannot touch. Seeing their leader restrained and Maya presenting the final evidence, Ramesh's men surged forward from the crowd to grab her and seize the vital receipt. Just as the situation threatened to erupt into violence, little Kiran shouted from above. He was perched high in the branches of the ancient banyan tree, holding his old, battered phone steady. He hadn't just recorded Ramesh's attack. He had been live-streaming the entire official proceeding to news outlets and social media. Kiran's small camera was now focused directly on the headman's aggressive men and police chief Patil. The sight of powerful men attempting an assault and destruction of evidence in the presence of a magistrate and reporters, broadcast live, paralyzed the goons. The live coverage acted as an immediate shield for Maya. Patil, caught on camera desperately trying to distance himself from the headman's retreating cronies, watched his career dissolve. The live stream's immediate, undeniable public exposure broke the last shred of their authority. Ramesh and police chief Patil were formally arrested by the security detail and the accompanying police contingent that afternoon. The small half-acre was returned to Maya. But the true victory was not the land, but the lesson that justice, though often delayed and seemingly impossible, can be achieved when courage finds a voice. Maya used the first harvest to repair her mother's roof, and the second to start Shantipura's first small, independent school, turning her father's honest soil into a future for her brother and the entire village. I sincerely request you to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.